All right. So, hello everyone. Today I'll be showing you how to create a Talend job that reads data from a AWS S3 bucket. It will pass a JSON file and it will insert the specific fields into an Oracle data warehouse table. In this video, I'll walk you through each component and I'll explain what it does and I'll show you how to set everything up. So, let's just start by showing you how the JSON file looks like. So here is the JSON file. This has pretty much different fields like user ID, email, name. I'm going to take out few of these and extract few of these, and then I'm going to insert them into a table in Oracle Data Warehouse. So let me show you how the same file, I have it in the S3 bucket as well. In the S3 bucket, I have the list of buckets here. This is the Heyman data bucket is the one which is holding the JSON file. All right, so now that we have the file in our S3, let's start beginning the Talend job. So first of all, I have this empty palette here. I'm going to copy few components from a different job. Uh, These components are basically setting up the connections and configurations, all that sort of stuff. Let's begin with the T pre-job component. So as you know, this component will run as soon as the a new job starts, and the post job will be the last set of components will be running in the T post job component when the job is about to finish. All right. So this is used to basically initialize a few variables and configurations. In my case, I'm using it to set it up for the AWS S3 connection. I have few tjava components here. This is just to note down the time when I'm starting the job. And the TS3 connection, this just has the credentials of the S3 bucket. And when I'm able to connect it successfully, then I get the job. I get this printed as S3 connected, and similarly, I also have an RDS Oracle Data Warehouse database made, and this component has the list of different credentials and the connection string, all that sort of stuff. And again, one more print message saying that the Oracle Data Warehouse is connected. All right, so now that we have our connection made, so these are the components which are closing the connection. Let's just quickly run to check if the connection is made successfully. And yes, the data warehouse and Oracle and the S3 are connected. So now that we have our connections made, I'm going to use a TS3 list component and I'm going to connect it to a tjava component. So using the TS3 list, let's first configure this. And I'm going to list all the key objects, all the objects present in this connection. TS3 list will basically give me some global variables which are necessary to understand what bucket names are there and also the key files are present. I'm going to print it out. So yeah, here you can see that it gives me different options to print of the global variables. I'm going to first print the bucket name. Along with that, I'm also going to print the key. And let's run this and check. Perfect. So I see that the bucket name is present and also the key name. All right. Now that we are sure that we have made the connection and we are able to locate the the file, um, now our task should be to get the file from S3 to our local. I will quickly move this. And so I can get this from here. So TS3 get is basically asking me the bucket name and also the key name. And I'm going to store this as file.json. Now, what this it is going to fetch the file from the S3 and it is going to store that file locally in this path with the name of the file as this. Now, you may not have access to this file location every time because in some companies you are restricted to look at to the talent server. At that time, you can basically do a run on a local host and you can check. That's the only way you can debug basically to understand what the intermediary file you are looking at. So I'm going to save this job and run if I'm able to get this file locally. All right, so looks like the job ran successfully. It's file.json today at 6:41. So, alright, so now that we have our file locally, we know that for sure that this file is getting copied here locally for sure. Now our challenge is to parse this JSON file. Before that, we'd have to get this JSON file back into the Talend, right? So for that, we'll have to use the T in file input JSON. I'm going to connect this here and yes. So now we have to configure this T file input JSON. Um, I'm going to pretty much give the path name except this is so right now I just want to extract only two fields from the JSON file. Like, well, if we look into the JSON file, I could just copy the user ID and the email. Now, please keep in mind that you don't have to restrict the only to string kind of data type. You can change it to a different data type, like if it's an integer or if it's a date. Often in data engineering world, you'll find that the date or timestamp is getting in our way with while dealing with the data set a lot. All right. So So I will also have to set up the JSON path query. So this will decide how the this component is going to look into the JSON file and fetch the fetch the particular field from the JSON object. So go. Okay, this is just a so yeah, it's just asking to put some output links. I'm going to Uh, so before inserting the data into the database, I'm using a tlog row component to log the past data. I'm using the tlog row here to log the past data, just in case the data decides to log out on us. All right, let's see. Let's run the job and see if I'm able to read the JSON file. Okay, so it looks like that there is no script engine for JavaScript to read this JSON file. This was kind of a expected behavior. I'll show you what kind of Java version I'm running. So, so the version currently I'm running is 17.0.7. And after Java version 8 or 11, I'm not exactly sure, but after that, the JDK and JRE has stopped giving the support for Nashorn. Nashorn is basically the package which will help you to parse the JSON file. For this, I'm going to add few libraries in my job. So So this is the main library which you want, the jar, the Nashorn Core 15.4 jar, but it has some dependencies as well. Uh, I'm going to add those dependencies. You can find the list of dependencies in the Maven, or you can just Google it, you'll find it. And make sure that you are also using the correct version of the dependencies because sometimes that brings the dependency issue. So notice how I'm using all the dependencies in the same version, 7.3.1. All right. So now I have added all the dependencies. Let's see, I'm able to run this talent job without any error or not. Perfect, amazing. Now I'm able to extract the records which I want. This is the user ID and this is the email. Okay, so now that I have these logged, I'm going to use a tmap component. I'm going to connect the tlog row to the tmap component. Yeah, so the schema is getting replicated from tlog row till here, map editor, and from the tmap, I'm going to use a tdb output. Okay. Use an existing connection. All right. Let's name this as JSON table. I'm going to truncate the table and then insert the data into this component list. Existing connection. All right. Yeah. So here I'm going to get the connection from the repository. And JSON table. Now in this component, you will have to first map the two columns which are incoming to the T map, and then you'll have to map into the data warehouse table. Apply and then propagate the changes. Yes. Now let's just check if the schema is correct or not. Yeah, it is. So the DB column. So so this component is expecting the name of the table, the name of the column to be this, and this, and the name of the table is this. I'm going to send this to a TDI if I'm not able to properly insert the data into the table. Yep. All right. Yeah, again, this sort of behavior is expected because I did not create the table yet. So let's copy the table name, which is JSON table. I'm going to open my data warehouse. Alright, I'm going to create this table. Search tab. So this is empty right now, and hopefully, if we have successfully created the table, then we should be able to pass the two different fields and insert the only two different fields into our table in Oracle Data Warehouse. Okay, so it ended without an error. Now let's see if our table is populated. Here you go. So obviously these are null because I did not add these. But yeah, you see that I am able to replicate the user IDs and the emails into our table in our Oracle Data Warehouse. Um, yeah, yeah. So if you want, we can also add one more field just to check. Uh, and automatically it is getting propagated with, which is very nice. Except for here. So apply. Okay. Yes. And I have to adjust the schema of the input as well. So okay, so it took it all by default. The job S3 to Oracle Data Warehouse has wrong configuration. Fix it. Delete this token. Get data. Okay, so yeah, I forgot to add that. So this compiled successfully. Unique constraint. Okay. I think that's because of the data being already present in the table, which is strange because I did a truncate and insert. Oh, I did not. That's why. Okay, so let's do a truncate table and insert. All right, so the table has run successfully. Let's check into the data warehouse table again. Uh, there you go. We have the newly added field along with the two other existing fields. That's it. Thank you for watching my tutorial today. I hope you have found this video very helpful. Cheers.